Good morning. Today is Sunday, December 6, 2020, and I'm Margaret Drugovich, the president of Hartwick College. Well, there is no snow today in Oneonta, just a wintry sky and a very, very crisp winter morning. Friday was the last day of class for the fall semester, all remote as planned. In a more typical year, during the past week, members of the Student Government Association would have helped us to decorate the tree in Thornwood, the president's residence, but not this year. In a more typical year, we would have hosted holiday gatherings at our home for employees and community members on Friday, but not this year. Even though we could not be together, as we decorated our tree yesterday, we thought of you and how meaningful it has been to be able to celebrate the season and each fall semester together with you over these last 12 years. We are already looking forward to next December. I'm glad to be able to update you that the last student resident who tested positive for COVID and who because of this remained in isolation on our campus over Thanksgiving has now returned home. In anticipation of the post-Thanksgiving COVID spread that was predicted by so many health experts, we asked our employees to work from home for 2 weeks after the Thanksgiving weekend. This was a step taken to protect those who had to be on campus. And unfortunately, it turned out to be a good choice. As you all probably now know, COVID is spreading at a concerning rate across the country. The New York State rate of infection among test takers is now over 5% and has been climbing steadily over these last few weeks. The state now has microclusters in regions, including Western New York, the Finger Lakes, and even our own Mohawk Valley, that have been steadily trending upward. Asking people to work from home ended up being a good choice. We now see COVID even within our employee community, something we had not seen up until very recently. We have one employee who, after testing positive, continues in isolation. And we have several employees in precautionary or mandatory quarantine due to a household member's infection or potential exposure from a social gathering. To our employees who are a little offline right now, we wish you all well. You know, we had all worried about classroom spread as we began the fall semester. These latest infections do not seem to have any relationship to our work together on campus. We saw no evidence of classroom or office spread when proper precautions are taken. Social spread in people's homes and across their families and friends, this is now where the majority of new infections are occurring. According to information gained through contact tracing, 70% of new COVID-19 cases are now originating in households and in other small gatherings. In response, New York State has rolled out a new 5-point winter COVID plan. This plan doubles down on the identification of microclusters and incorporates new measures for hospital preparedness, makes education about small gathering spread a focus, moves to increase testing and keep schools open, and creates a plan for a vaccination program. These are all important steps. While government cannot stop the spread of COVID, only we can stop the spread. Government planning and support are critical. The senior leadership team has been discussing how to help our Hartwick community balance the real anxieties associated with this time with the necessary hope for the future that is always, always part of the Hartwick community. So we continue our process of active learning and planning for J term and spring term. I want to thank the over 330 students who took time out of your fall to participate in a survey about your fall experience. We are digesting your insights and will bring them to bear on our final plans for spring. My thanks also to COVID Problem Group 1 for refreshing your recommendations on how to deliver the best quality instruction possible based on what we learned in the fall. We are discussing your recommendations and will incorporate many of them into our final spring plans. We will do our best to offer an in-person experience to the greatest extent possible. To our students, we will publish a controlled move-in plan for J-term soon. And we'll do it as soon as possible, and we hope to be able to do this within the next 2 weeks if we are able, so that you can make your plans. I can tell you that we've settled on a COVID testing plan for next semester, and you will no doubt be glad to know that we will replace the deep nasopharyngeal swab with an anterior nares swab approach to testing. This is going to be a self-administered test with sampling from just inside the entry to the nostril. As was the case in the fall, this will be a highly sensitive PCR test and will be administered on a regular schedule throughout the spring. In addition, if we can acquire them, we will supplement these tests with antigen rapid tests. And students, please take note. You will need to bring evidence of a negative rapid antigen or molecular test with you when you return to campus for J-term or spring term. Please check out resources for testing in your community so that you can be ready. This past week, I met with a number of Oneonta community leaders and we discussed our plans for the spring. One asked how the community could most help our students. It is clear to me that the best way for all of us to support our students is to help to guide them to the safest behaviors possible. Wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask, whenever possible, until a vaccine is available. We will keep turning toward our future. If you are a supporter or parent, you will soon receive the college's WIC magazine. This edition is dedicated to introducing you to the plan and the power of Flight Path. We can already see the early signs that this approach is going to prepare our students well for their future. This is very exciting. If you supported the college and our students with a donation during the December 1st Giving Tuesday campaign, I thank you. You gave more than ever before to this annual campaign and 20% more than last year. Overall, $260,000 in donations were given to support our students and the college on this day of giving. Thank you. Your support truly does matter. My final word today is for our students. I know, after speaking with a number of you over this last week, that you may be feeling stressed about the work that you still need to accomplish. Maybe it's your exams, maybe it's your papers. For those of you who are first-year students, if you are feeling like you have more to do than you are able to accomplish, I want to assure you this is not an unusual feeling at the end of your first term in college. I still remember that feeling from the end of my first semester in college. If your grades are not what you wanted them to be or what you hoped they would be, remember that the product of an education is not a single test grade. What you are learning is how to learn better. If you have learned something about how you learn from a disappointing grade, then that is valuable progress. You will be surprised at what a great learner you can become. For now, in this week, just do your best. And for those upper class students who have been through all of this before, you know that finishing well is as important as every step you have taken along the way. Do your best. I am very proud of you. Today's choice of song is inspired by a Hartwick Senior thesis production of The Story of My Life that was live streamed to our community this week. Maybe you are feeling a bit small and powerless because of COVID, or maybe overwhelmed by the work that lies ahead. This song reminds us that even small steps forward can lead to remarkable outcomes. The song is The Butterfly from The Story of My Life, as performed by Will Chase and Malcolm Getz. Congratulations, Dylan, on your thesis performance. And congratulations to all of our seniors who have completed their capstone projects. Be safe. Please wear your mask. Have a great Sunday.